Hello again. Your first two cases indicate you have a real gift for forensics. But can you handle a genuinely grisly crime scene? I have one for you. First officer reports a call saying the apartment of a certain young woman is painted in blood. The apartment, and possibly the blood, belongs to a celebrity of sorts, Carrie Louise Kennelly, the casino heiress. But there's no body, just plenty of blood. You'll have Sarah Seidel at your side. Sarah knows her way around even the bloodiest crime scene. Better get going. She'll meet you there.
Wow, this is a lot of blood. Be careful not to step in anything. I'll document most of this, but I'd like you to photo anything that looks out of place. I don't want to jump to any conclusions yet. I just want to take in the evidence. This blood pooling is undisturbed. Strange. If a struggle happened with this much blood everywhere. A lot of blood for one person to lose. We don't have a body, but I'm thinking we should have. We have a print overlapping the door, which means somebody left after the crime went down. That's not right for this. That's not right for this. Some kind of waxy substance? This could be significant. The splash could represent where the first cut happened. That's not right for this. Drawer's still locked, but this indentation probably means somebody jimmied it. Something big and heavy was dragged through here. Body, maybe. Somebody was making this window into a door. Perp fleeing the crime scene. Plastic fragment. I have a guess what this is, but Grissom tells me not to do that. Freezer is empty. Not even a frozen pizza or TV dinner.
Who are you? Make that, who the hell are you?
Las Vegas Crime Lab. Calm down, sir, and answer the question.
Sorry. I guess I didn't expect to see a, chick playing cop. No offense. I'm Michael Dubois, Kara's fiance. I hope you can tell me what the hell happened here. And where in God's name is she?
We're gonna do our best to determine what happened here, Mr. Dubois, and I'll try not let being a chick impede that.
I told you I didn't mean any offense. Wouldn't you be off your game if you showed up at your girlfriend's place and found it splattered like this? 3 months from tomorrow. I mean, Carrie was picking out her damn wedding dress just the other day. Just yesterday, in my apartment. We had lunch. I fixed it for her. Kind of an amateur chef. I'm not the sexist pig you think I am. God, what could have gone down here? Can you test this blood and see if it's Carrie's or something? Carrie? Are you kidding? Don't pay any attention to that crap in the tabloids. Carrie's a sweetheart, a living angel. And I hope to hell she still is. Nah, she was just Carrie. If anything, she was in a better mood than usual. Sometimes she can be kind of quiet, even, I don't mean this in a bad way, mousy. But she was all smiles and laughs. Around midnight. I was expecting Carrie to be here. When I opened the door, I freaked out. Searched for her, nothing. And I called the cops, ASAP. Appointment? You think I make appointments with my own woman? I was just dropping by. I do that all the time. She likes it, me surprising her like that. Well, I've been here 100 times, so I've touched things in this apartment 100 times, but not tonight. I'm not a numbskull. Seeing all this blood, I knew something was wrong. Horribly wrong. I had to see if she was alive, so I checked her rooms quickly, and I think maybe I stepped in some of that blood. Almost what I had to. After I checked, I called the cops and stayed right here until you came. No. If I had, I wouldn't be wasting time here talking to some female lab assistant and her lapdog. I told you I was her fiancé. I had her key, she had my key. It doesn't mean we don't respect each other's privacy. I knocked before I let myself in, and I only came in because I knocked a long time and got kind of worried. Because if she was going out, I'd know about it. We're that close, you know? And then I saw this nightmare, and I called 911. Could be. I was freaking out, looking every place, including the damn ceiling for her. Could have left footprints just about anywhere in here. Take him.
Nice work.
Looks like the key to my apartment. I told you, we exchanged keys a long time ago. You never know when there's going to be an emergency or something. Case in point. Rule me out for what? I told you before, I'm your guy where helping find Carrie is concerned. You want to give me a cup to fill, or...?
That won't be necessary, Mr. Dubois. A swab will do just fine.
Over at the Gorman Towers, my apartment. Here's the address. And you people let me know the second you find anything about this horrible mess. I care about Carrie, you know. I really, truly care.
Nothing here that will help us. Nothing here that will help us.
Tell you what, I'll throw you a bone. See those sunglasses over there?
Nice glasses. Not quite right for you, though.
Don't be silly. Those are for a female. They're Carrie's glasses. Left them here yesterday.
Could we borrow them?
I'm not going to stand on ceremony and ask for a warrant or some crap. Let me make it clear. Anything that'll help find Carrie, I'm up for.
Could be a hair from our potential Vic. It has some scalp on it, which allows a DNA search. Without a victim, this is our best reference to determine if it's her blood. You can run that on the chemical analyzer. That's not good. No match to Dubois. This could mean a number of things. Worst case, she was also sexually attacked. Blood definitely came from one person. Shoe and the floor print match, meaning Mr. Dubois exited after the blood was on the floor. Wax, all right. Ski wax, actually, and you can make an impression of a key from this stuff. Perhaps somebody needed a spare key from Mr. Dubois' apartment. It's a common brand of trash bag, so this means a bag was dragged out through that window, perhaps heavy enough to cause a snag. Was the victim taken out like trash? Try that on the comparison microscope.
Well, I hear you don't have a body for me. Not yet, anyway. But maybe I can give you some insights based on some photos. I'd be happy to run some tox reports if you give me blood samples as well. This small droplet spatter usually indicates a blow from a fist or other blunt object. At least half a gallon, could be more. And since it all came from one person, that person is almost certainly deceased. But there's one striking anomaly, however. It's highly unlikely a victim with that kind of wound could remain conscious long enough to spread so much blood around so many places in one apartment. One theory would be the killer held onto the victim and dragged her around the place, which would give us one very bloody perp. Obviously, I can't give you a definitive answer, but the size is right to have been made by dragging a body across the floor. No problem. Check back later. No problem. Check back later. Interesting item. Not sure what to make of it. When looking for cause of death, I noticed a large portion of the blood was crystallized. Few things can cause this, including severe low temperatures. I wouldn't be surprised to find the body went through some form of freezing.
You know the kind of pressures we get from the string pullers in this town. Right now, Jacob Kennelly, from his deathbed, is providing a healthy dose. This kind of grief we don't need. So we need to find out what happened to his daughter fast. Now, what do you need? Once you've got enough evidence, I'll hit up a judge.
Are you trying to bait me? How many times have I told you people we were frickin' engaged? What part of Carrie was out buying her wedding dress the other day don't you understand?
No offense, Mr. Dubois. We have to ask the tough questions in a case like this.
Well, that's not a tough question, it's a stupid one. No way in hell would Carrie be with any other guy. We're, what do you call it, frickin' soulmates.
Nothing here that will help us. Match to the charming fiancé. Not a surprise since he had his own key access, but this is surprising. Dubois had a record. Assault charge 2 years ago. Barroom incident, sounds like he had a temper. Convicted, but suspended sentence due to first offense.
Oh, for Pete's sake, did a red flag come up on that ancient history piece of crap beef? Carrie and me, we were at this bar, and some asshole starts putting the make on her. No problem, at first. I tell him move along, he moves along. Only when I go to the little boy's room, I come back, and there the dipstick is, hitting on Carrie full throttle. I just, you know how it is, just went off on him. He wasn't hurt, not that bad.
Got yourself a little jealous streak, Mr. Dubois?
Jealousy has nothing to do with it. I'm an old-fashioned kind of guy who stands up for his lady when some panting jackass gets in her face is all. And Carrie, she's a sweet, trusting soul. She could get taken advantage of by some jerk without even knowing it. Till I came along, her taste in men was lousy.
There's more to be done with that item before we can process it. Sunscreen or something. We've done all we can with that evidence right now. Liquid concealer. This is a cosmetic of choice among abused women. Green offsets the red and blue of a deep bruise. And this residue on the shades could mean they're concealing a shiner.
What bruises? What the hell are you implying?
We found traces of concealer makeup on her sunglasses. The kind that make bruises go away on the surface.
What, now it's suspicious that Carrie used makeup? She was in the public eye. She had to doll herself up like a movie star. Anyway, you know how women are. I mean, vain and stuff.
This seems unnaturally far from the rest of the blood. Looks like some old impressions on the pad. Let's see if you know how to process it in the field. I know what you've been doing. You won't see a penny, Lucy. Lucy, huh?
I wish I didn't. Lucy Kennelly is Carrie's little sister. Don't think I throw the B word around loosely, but Lucy Kennelly, she is one cold, calculating bitch. If you tell me she has something to do with this, don't expect me to act shocked. When there's a will, there's a way. And old man Kennelly made Carrie, his older, more responsible daughter, the beneficiary of his major property, the Double Dip Casino. Even the old boy knows enough not to trust Lucy with that kind of responsibility. And brother, was little sister pissed. Over at the Double Dip, she works there, sucking up to daddy.
Miss Kennelly, we're with the Las Vegas Crime Lab. We understand you've been informed about the situation at your sister's apartment.
Yes, I heard from your Captain Brass. I've been expecting you, and intend to help, of course, but could we move this along? I'm a busy woman, in charge of food services here, and that's a demanding and never-ending responsibility. Doesn't it speak for itself? Our father has been extremely ill, and Carrie has been staying away as if she might catch something. It's reprehensible of her. I love my sister, but her avoidance of responsibility, whether business or family, is a real bone of contention between us. Well, that Neanderthal is wrong for Carrie. He's a controlling jerk, although he's never learned to control his own temper. If this turns out to be something sinister, you may save yourself some trouble if you start with that monster. No, I'm not. Within reason. The drawers of my desk contain key business documents that I don't care to have rifled through.
We need to determine whether the blood at your sister's apartment belongs to her. As her sister, you'd be a partial match, of course.
No problem. Just because we've had our problems doesn't mean that I don't love and care about my sister, you know? Haven't I made it clear? We're oil and water, my sister and I. We are not close. And she wouldn't tell me her dress size, let alone share the details of her love life. Wait, actually, there is one thing that does come to mind. A few months ago, at the hospital, Carrie was making one of her rare visits to see how Dad is doing, and I was struck by how she and this male nurse were, well, almost flirting. Not that I know of. Again, we're not as close as most, or anyway, many sisters. Still, she was in the tabloids, so a stalker would be possible. Of course, that fiancé of hers behaves like a stalker. Does that count? Look, I told you, Carrie doesn't share intimate details with me. But she has terrible taste in men. Controlling jerks, one and all. She's been knocked around before. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again. She's a serial victim.
Did you ever see any signs of bruises recently?
No, but my sister doesn't exactly go easy with the makeup. She's a pretty young woman, but insecure, and cosmetics are just another thing for her to hide behind. Well, I can't say for sure it's Carrie, but I just discovered that someone was trying to use my Visa card on the day she disappeared. And they told me that their fraud protection agents had flagged a suspicious purchase. This has never happened before. It's gotta be Carrie.
That's interesting. Might be worth having Brass check into it.
I don't have anything else to say to you.
Something similar to that. Was this used for opening letters or bloodletting? Here's an entry worthy of a raised eyebrow. Lucy had an appointment today with her sister at 7:30 p.m.
We were planning to catch a late dinner, yes, but I got caught up in some business errands and got so far behind, I'm afraid you'll find I'm on your books for a speeding ticket at around 8 p.m. Frankly, I was so bent out of shape about it, I just headed back to the office, knowing Carrie had probably been waiting for me. She didn't pick up her cell phone. I'm afraid I just considered that more typically thoughtless, irresponsible behavior on her part. Oh, and that ticket is right here, if that'll help. Take a look at how sharp that stupid thing is. I should throw the damn thing out as many times as I've cut myself opening letters with it. But it was a gift from my father, and I'm sentimental that way. I don't have anything else to say to you.
Well, her story is confirmed. Someone made an international call to a hotel in Aruba using Lucy Kennelly's Visa card. Visa flagged it as being outside of her normal spending pattern and notified her that it could be fraudulent. We could have a break here. If it was Carrie who made the charge locally, then she was still alive at 5:04 this evening, improving our timeline. Only take a second to access interdepartment records, and here it is. 8:12 p.m., 60 miles per hour in a residential zone. She was in one hell of a hurry to get someplace. This confirms she didn't meet her sister at 7:30, but that doesn't clear Lucy of murder, not when we don't even have a time of death or a body.
Here's a stunner. Mr. Kennelly is leaving the double dip to Carrie, not Lucy, even though it's Lucy who's worked her tail off for him. This is a motive. Sure, they match, but we don't know what either of these items actually are, so this doesn't really get us anywhere. We need to match one of these against something known. We've done all we can with that evidence right now. We've done all we can with that evidence right now. We've done all we can with that evidence right now.
Yes, I am. Now we know who I am. Who are you?
Vegas Crime Lab. We have a few questions.
No. Of course I am. And I know that his daughter is Carrie Kennelly. She's had her picture in the media enough. And I may have spoken to her in passing when she's come to see her father, though the younger daughter, whose name I forget, she comes around more frequently. But when you ask if I know the young woman, I can say that a male nurse and a casino heiress do not normally run in the same circles.
The younger sister whose name slipped your mind? Her name is Lucy, and according to her, the last time Carrie visited her father, you were more attentive to Carrie than to the patient.
Well, that's an absurd assertion. Now that you mention it, and keep in mind how many patients I deal with in a day, much less a week or a month, Carrie Kennelly was sort of friendly to me. Look, I really don't know her, but she did call me here at the hospital once. But it didn't go anywhere. We live in different worlds. Missing? Why, no, I didn't. That's sad news. I mean, she seems sweet and unaffected, considering her background. But you should understand that Mr. Kennelly's condition has worsened, and he was recently moved to another hospital where he could receive specialized treatment, so I haven't seen either of those young women lately. Hey, I really didn't mean to be evasive. It's just, if I were accused of getting familiar with a patient's daughter, I could get in trouble here. I really, truly don't know that young woman, except in passing.
Really? Well, it makes for humorous reading, if you're into irony. So much for hard work and dedication and family. I'm taking it in the nethers, so that Daddy can help Carrie grow up and settle down.
You sound pretty upset about it.
Wouldn't you be? But I'm not worried. Carrie hasn't ever shown any interest in the family business, and she'll come running to me for help when the time comes. I told you, she'll be in over her head and need me. Why should I hurt her? Or do you mean kill her? Right, I slashed my sister to ribbons in her apartment over this. Sure, that'll put me in solid with my father.
Well, that note you left did sound like a threat. You won't see a penny?
Look, I don't want this to get out. It's confidential. That time I said would come when she'd come running to me for help? Well, it already came. Carrie was ready to hand the casino over to me. You want it in writing? Carrie's writing? Sure, it's right here. Just because my sister and I aren't close doesn't mean I don't care about her. So sure, but get those back. I jog regularly, keeps me fit and sane, and that's my only pair.
These shoes appear to have been bleached, but was it to remove blood?
I don't have anything else to say to you. I don't have anything else to say to you.
Well, there are no traces of blood on these shoes, just a lot of bleach. These shoes were not the ones at the crime scene. We've done all we can with that evidence right now. Same brand and size, but the parcel lacks any individual marks.
That's hers, all right. Flowery and feminine. I could spot it across a room. Not a clue, but her judgment isn't always, well, let's say she has no particular interest in the family fortune. The truth is, if she didn't have that fortune to dip into, she'd sing a different tune. For all the tabloid coverage she's got over these last couple years, Carrie's almost straight-laced, sweet to a fault. What that queen bitch sister of hers might have on her, I could not imagine.
No problem. Check back later. Sure thing. Looks like Mr. Portison was once picked up at a club where patrons walk the kinkier side. Erotic blood play. Sick as that sounds, Nurse Portison wasn't charged with anything. Yeah, it's right here. Plenty of calls to and from the hospital, but one was to Alex Portison's cell phone at 4:36 p.m. today, before that call to Visa. Doubtful. He's very sick and very rich. Those are hard hurdles to get over, and getting over them will take time. If we can crack this thing without going there, we should. We called that hotel, but they have no listings of Carrie calling or booking a room. Dead end.
We've done all we can with that evidence right now.
So my footprint is at my sister's place. Why is that significant?
It indicates you were at your sister's after the crime took place.
Are you kidding? We're sisters. About the same height and build from our shoe size to our bra size. Carrie and I both had pairs of running shoes like that, as do a couple hundred other people in Vegas who took advantage of the same sale. Just because our daddy has dough doesn't mean we don't like a bargain. You two are trying my patience. I have work to do, if you'll excuse me. I don't have anything else to say to you.
Which leads us to a few new questions, Mr. Porterson, starting with why did you lie to us about your relationship with Miss Kennelly?
What relationship? Do you have a relationship with everybody you talk to on the phone? We've become friends, casually, is all. I didn't lie, I just played that down because I knew you'd take it wrong, which you are. I've just, been trying to lend her a sympathetic ear. She can use it after the abuse that bastard boyfriend of hers dishes out. Well, no, not specifically, but abused women are always afraid to reveal what's going on. They cover up for the abuser. Hell, you know that better than I do. But I have eyes. Even if I hadn't had medical training, a bruise is a bruise. And all the makeup at all the cosmetic counters in town couldn't conceal those contusions. And her manner, my God, she was scared to death of that brute. Must be a couple days ago? Of course, I talked to her on the phone just today. She was in a bad place where this, I can barely stand to say, marriage to that monster is concerned. Listen, I couldn't be more pleased that you're looking after Carrie's welfare, but if you want my DNA, you'll need to jump through the proper legal hoops. I know firsthand about labs screwing up, and I'd want every I dotted and T crossed before we took that step. Sorry.
Is this how you find out what happened to Carrie? Accuse the one who loves her of crap like this? This is slander, and this is America, and I... Who said I did? What, that stick-up-her-butt sister of hers? You believe that self-serving psycho?
So the charges are unfounded.
Listen, this is personal, so I'd appreciate it if... What was your name? Sarah? You're a nice-looking woman. Hey, I don't mean to step over any line here, but grown-ups know about these things.
Is that right?
I didn't mean any offense. It's just that icicle sister of hers doesn't understand what happens behind a bedroom door between two people who love each other in a, passionate kind of way. What, you never had a hickey, honey?
That line you didn't mean to step over, Mr. Dubois? You just did.
Come on, I never hit Carrie out of anger. Hey, I like it a little rough, so does she. She's of age. She's with me of her own free will. I love her, okay? I would never hurt her in a hurtful way. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
What's up? Need a hint? Sure, I'll do what I can, but remember it'll count against you in your evaluation. Okay, check your case file for a hint. The neck was cut cleanly. From one side. Maybe during a knife attack.
Well, if you're back, it must be to thank me for pointing you toward that scumbag Dubois. Whatever happened to Carrie has to be that bastard's fault.
Seems they were into rough sex, behind closed doors. Strictly consensual.
And you're just going to take that abusive son of a bitch at his word.
Mr. Porterson, you're the one we've caught in a lie. What makes you a more reliable source than Dubois? What's up? Need a hint? Starting to think Alex ought to cut back on the caffeine. Let's help ourselves to a cup of Joe. His cup. If we're lucky, we might be able to get prints and a DNA sample off of it. Funny, isn't it? How sometimes a DNA sample is just waiting for you in a public place. Whoa. Looks like the male nurse has been exercising his bedside manner on Carrie's couch. Matches Alex Porterson's hospital employee records. Not exactly a shock. Seems like you've been lending her more than a sympathetic ear.
Okay, look. I know this looks bad, but if you just think about it 1 second, you'll understand. I mean, do you really think I want that anger management class reject Dubois, knowing that I'm seeing his intended? Who knows what that psychopath is capable of? Well, I did talk to her briefly on the phone, but I've been here at the hospital on shift since 8 this morning.
Say what?
Did you have any prior knowledge of this?
This isn't a topic I care to discuss with strangers. I'm out of here.
Well, let's hope he's not on his way to see Alex Porterson and create a new crime scene for us. And much as I'd love to fine-comb this place, Dubois being gone doesn't erase our need for a warrant.
What do you think happened? And hey, thanks for sharing my secrets with that ape, Dubois. I'm lucky he didn't kill me. In fact, he threatened as much, said, "I'll kill your ass too."
Almost a confession.
I was alone in the break room when he caught up with me. I just thought he'd get in my face and that would be the end of it. And when he knocked me down, I was stunned. He was gone before I could yell for help. I did call hospital security, though. I probably shouldn't have.
Because having your relationship with a patient's daughter come out isn't so cool, is it?
I haven't done anything inappropriate. Damn, you people find out I've been assaulted and climb all over my ass? Why is it I pay taxes again? Fortunately, hospital security called the police, and they caught up with that asshole in the parking lot. You should be able to check on that yourself. You still think I'm a liar or something.
Mr. Dubois is already a guest in lockup. He assaulted Nurse Porterson last night, as you probably already know. Shall we have a chat with the hot-tempered lad?
I didn't attack him. If I'd attacked him, he'd know it, and so would you. I took it easy on that nerdy little creep, hitting on Carrie like that.
As opposed to the way you hit on her? Are you saying you had no suspicion Carrie was seeing another guy?
Well, yeah, I guess I did. You can always tell when your, significant other's got something on their mind, but I wrote that off to pre-wedding jitters. How could I have imagined a toothpick like that twerp Porterson was my competition?
Had to hurt. Who could blame you for getting mad?
Killer? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. I admit I got a jealous streak, but I would never take it out on her. Give a creep like that Porterson an ass-kicking, sure, but I wouldn't even kill a maggot like that, let alone the woman I love, and I do love her. But we don't know she's dead. We're not writing her off as dead, are we? Are you? You're not letting this go, are you? I was at home watching TV. Then I went over to her place at midnight. That's all there is to it.
Anybody see you leave?
Probably not. I used the stairwell.
If I were in your shoes, I'd want an alibi.
I don't have anything else for you.
You got enough evidence for a search. I'll hit up a judge.
Nothing here that will help us. Nothing here that will help us. Nothing here that will help us. Not to talk trash about Mr. Dubois, but let's get to the lab and see what brand of bag he prefers. Funny thing to file away. And it wasn't even under S. We've got one child here with no family resemblance. This set of knives came from a high-end cutlery shop. But this other one, it's just a plain old Slice Co. Try using a similar tool. Bloody surface, serrated edge. Could this be the weapon we've been searching for? Nothing here that will help us. We've got a match to a Nevada Gaming Commission card. Lucy Kennelly. Wonder what she was doing around Michael Dubois' apartment. Those two brag about hating each other. So blood on the knife matches our Vic. I wonder if Dubois will try to write this off to rough sex play. We've done all we can with that evidence right now. So Dubois had the same brand of trash bags as the torn fragment we found at the crime scene. They are a common brand, so it's by no means proof. Michael and Carrie had access to these. Anyone else?
He's on his way to interrogation now.
I know you think I'm some sort of mouth breather, but I'm actually a man of means and taste. I said I was an amateur chef. I wouldn't demean my kitchen with cheap tools like that.
Maybe so, but that's where we found it. In your kitchen. Maybe it walked in of its own accord. By the way, lab tells us your fiancé's blood is all over it.
Well, it may be her blood, but it's not my knife. I go in for the best. I can afford to spoil myself, and I do. Are you deaf or stupid or both? You shouldn't be looking at me. You should be asking yourself, who put that junk blade in my shiny kitchen? I can tell you one thing, Carrie has knives like that. That sister of hers gave them to her, which shows you how little that bitch really cares about her. Lucy probably just lifted them from the double dip. It's the kind of low-end cutlery their restaurant uses. Other than Carrie and me, I don't know. You'd have to check with the building manager. It's janitor.
Compelling stuff. I can call that judge with a clear conscience and get that search warrant.
I don't have anything else to say to you.
Fairly wide gauge needles. I wonder what she needs these for. Schuyler Progressive Hospital. That's where her dad was. Nice work. Hey, doesn't this key look like the one we found in Carrie's apartment? Well, this is definitely not Mr. Dubois' day. These records show profits from Mr. Dubois' bookmaking operation. Maybe this is the leverage Lucy Kennelly was talking about.
I don't have anything else to say to you.
Horson's prints. Not too surprising if this box did come from that hospital. What could our sweet, innocent heiress have been putting in her veins?
Hey, Grissom asked me to check up on you guys. Crack this sucker yet?
Who was it that said, curiouser and curiouser?
Probably Grissom, quoting Lewis Carroll. What's the latest curiosity?
Well, seems Carrie has this thing for needles and the people who have access to them.
Into drugs.
Initial report from the bloodbath in her apartment was negative. We're about to run this new sample by Doc Robbins.
If tox turns up clean here too, then you need to ask yourself, if our Vic wasn't shooting up, what were those needles for?
We've done all we can with that evidence right now.
Consider it done. Check back for the results. I have clean, no drugs indicated at all. Then what was Carrie using needles for?
Yep, that hypodermic needle ought to inject some confidence in a judge. Let's go.
I found those needles at Carrie's place when I was dropping off the will, remember? They disturbed me, obviously. If she got herself involved in drugs, I'd have to... I don't know what. Certainly, I intended to confront her about it.
Is that why you left that note?
Well, I was pretty angry. I figured with all the opportunities Carrie had heaped upon her in her short life to get involved with drugs, and that's what I assumed, though I suppose it could have been an illness or something. Anyway, I was bent out of shape, out of concern for her. I don't have anything else to say to you.
How should I know? She could have taken them from the hospital on one of her visits to her father, couldn't she?
Your fingerprints are on the box.
I work at the hospital. Could be a coincidence. I wouldn't put it past her, getting in my locker and taking them from there.
Keeping needles in your locker, that's standard for a nurse?
Hell, I keep all kinds of things in my locker. Not storing, more like dropping stuff off when I'm on my way to here or coming from there, you know.
We're talking employee locker? Here at the hospital?
I suppose we are. No big deal, right? Don't you have a locker at work?
Nice work. Time to breathe some fresh air into that locker of his and see what he's hiding. I'll call a judge.
Inside smells like blood. Look familiar?
They aren't Carrie's, though I can see why you might assume that. You see, a patient came through the ER today, covered in blood, and I was supposed to incinerate those, but I knew I wouldn't have time till later, so I just stuffed them in my locker. I told you, a lot of things get dropped off there. I'm a busy guy.
I see. So if we test that blood, it'll match your ER patient and not Carrie Kennelly?
One would think.
Definitely Carrie Kennelly. But what did Alex do with the body? This may have started out as a tomato juice jug, but it wound up filled with another kind of red. Maybe our victim was trying to escape out the window. No surprise here. This is the bag that left a torn piece on Carrie's windowsill.
Like Grissom says, blood tells, and all the telling stems from Alex Portison's locker. Let's talk to him. I'm sure you could come up with some really interesting lies for us, Alex. But let's try the truth. It should be interesting enough.
They're Carrie's clothes, all right. Carrie's blood. It's all Carrie's.
Where is Carrie Kennelly?
If you and Carrie ever really were friends, cut her family a break. They deserve the truth.
Motel across town.
You left her body in a motel room? It wouldn't have taken us long before we found her. The smell alone.
You don't get it. You're just not that smart.
I'll work real hard at it, Alex. Educate me.
She's not dead. Carrie Kennelly is not dead.
Not dead? All that blood.
You mean you haven't put it all together yet? I mean, you found the jug and the needles, right? I didn't kill Carrie. Carrie killed Carrie.
Are you prepping an insanity plea?
You have to understand. Carrie was born with a silver spoon, but a tarnished one. She's pretty, and her father is famous, and that made her and everything she did tabloid fodder. She had this thing for bad boys, and she took more beatings than a Persian carpet. Her life in a fishbowl really got to her. She wanted a simpler life, but her daddy wanted her to take over the casino, a business Carrie hated. Why Mr. Kennelly refused to consider Lucy, who for all her faults had worked hard for him, I couldn't say. Maybe Lucy wanted it a little too much. And one day, Carrie woke up and she had a dying daddy waiting to burden her with more responsibility than she could ever face. Not to mention a sister who hated her guts, and an upcoming marriage that promised to make her the battered wife poster girl. Lucy, her father, Dubois, they all underestimated her. Behind those blue eyes and that placid personality, Carrie is a clever girl. And she knew she couldn't just leave, or else Dubois and her father would come looking for her. She figured she only had one way out, to fake her own death. It would require some minor plastic surgery and a change of hair color, and a lot of planning and a hell of a lot of nerve. But she relished the thought of putting one over on all these control freaks just ruining her life.
So she met you, a male nurse with medical knowledge and a sympathetic style, and the two of you saved her blood. It must have taken months.
Ms. Seidel, you're a clever young woman yourself. We drew out only a bit at a time. We stored it in the juice jug you found in the freezer. She slowly thawed it, and then she splashed her blood around everywhere, creating a crime scene that would inevitably lead to her being declared dead.
Then she brought you her bloody clothes to destroy them in the hospital incinerator.
Yes, but then I screwed up. Got busy at work, not daring to attract undue attention, and haven't had a chance to get those clothes to the incinerator, particularly not with you people underfoot so much. Then you beat me to them.
Why do I think it was your idea to use the knife to frame Dubois?
Well, you're correct about that, Captain. That wasn't like Carrie at all. Took some real convincing. But I couldn't risk him coming after us, not with his temper. And anyway, I convinced her that her murder would be more real if someone paid for it. And that abusing bastard deserved it. I think she felt good about knowing he would never beat up on a woman again.
So what was the plan, after you fooled the world into accepting Carrie's death?
We're in love, Captain. Neither one of us care a damn about the money, just each other. She'd pulled enough out of her accounts to give us a start. We were heading to Aruba to make a new life together.
Well, you won't need money where you'll be going, and you won't be together. You see, just because Dubois is a woman-beating asshole, that doesn't make it cool to frame him for murder. What motel and what room, Alex?
Great work. But asking for help cost you in your final evaluation. See if you can do as well without using any hints.